In today's episode, we sail from Campbeltown to Carradale Bay, where we spend the night in the most tranquil and peaceful anchorage we've ever seen. With water clear enough to see the bottom, Dave talks about retrieving the anchor and how we use a strop to prevent noise overnight. We then try to sail, but end up motoring to the next anchorage in Asgog Bay in Loch Fyne. This is another stunning anchorage with a beautiful sandy bottom and crystal clear water. We captured some footage of a barrel jellyfish in the bay, then we get the drone out and show you this stunning location.
Hi, we're Dave and Jude, and we sold up our home and left our jobs and our lives behind to live on board our sailboat, Anamcara. Since leaving Portsmouth on the south coast of the UK, we've had quite an adventure, visiting wild Atlantic islands, Irish pubs, spotting whales and watching motorsports. We're embracing life and all that it has to offer. Come with us as we continue to sail north and explore the UK's magnificent coastline all the way up to the Scottish Islands and beyond. We'll be exploring the lochs of Scotland and the Hebridean Islands and discover the wildlife and communities on the way. We have new videos out every Saturday, so make sure you subscribe to avoid missing an episode. We're leaving Campbeltown after just one night, well 2 nights, because we were over there at anchor for the first night and then we went to the marina behind us for the second night. Really worthwhile going into Campbeltown if you're ever in the area. But today we're sailing up to a bay 2 hours, 3 hours north of here. The wind is in a good direction. We've got the mainsail up, so we're hoping to sail today. We're going to drop the hook and hopefully just have a nice calm night at anchor out in a bay, which is why we all like boating, isn't it? It doesn't happen as often as we'd like. The reality for those who haven't tried it of cruising is you're usually looking for laundry bins or power or something like that, or water. So the reality isn't living 20 nights at anchor and then 1 in a marina. The reality is probably 50-50 at best, because chores are just a reality of life, aren't they? So, but we are about to jibe, so I'm going to have to go and we will update later.
We are still sailing, which is good. We've shaken out our reefs now. We were expecting the wind to pick up a bit as we rounded out of the loch, but it didn't, so that's good. So we've shaken them all out. We are going around between 3 and 4 knots, so quite slow, but we're only going a couple of hours up, so we're about halfway. So we're going to continue to sail and enjoy the passage. We are looking at where we're heading and it looks quite nice. Surrounded by trees, very pretty, but hopefully the conditions and the mountains, as you can see behind me too, of Arran. So hopefully that will be nice when we get in, and the conditions will be good for us to be able to anchor and not have to move on up.
We think the Arran is the Arran jumper place, but we're not sure. We will check that for you. But Scottish jumpers are the best in the world because it's cold here all the time. Sorry, Scotland.
Scotland, the people that we met have told us it's not cold all the time and that the summer will get hot. Just might be waiting a while.
Technically what they said is it gets warmer than it was.
And it was quite cold at that point in time. Damn. I'm optimistic. Anyway.
incredibly peaceful sail today, doing 4 knots on average. We went up to 5.5 knots for a while, and we went down to 3 knots for a while. And we've put reefs in and we've taken reefs out, mostly for something to do. The reefing didn't really speed us up when we took the reefs out. We turned into the wind a bit when we turned, and that gave us an extra knot for a while, and then the wind is just dying again. There are 4 yachts behind us. You're probably not able to see them. Also came from Campbeltown. Looks like they're probably planning to sail straight past the bay that we're going into, probably up to Tarbert or somewhere like that. But we are going to stop in this bay, have some lunch. We might then decide to just carry on and get somewhere further in, or we might spend the night. We'll see what the bay is like. It's looking like it's going to be a really calm night anyway, so it doesn't really matter where we stop. But it's bitterly cold right now, very low-lying clouds on the mountains, and sort of misty rain has been coming through a bit. But we're hoping that will clear up later on. It certainly should clear up tomorrow a bit more for tomorrow's sail. If we don't leave here today, we'll be sailing northwards again tomorrow, and then we'll either be going to Tarbert or Portavadie Marina, or somewhere like that. We're not really sure yet, and so yeah, all good. But it's just stunning scenery. It's unusual to be sailing with so many mountains and islands and things around. I mentioned Ailsa Craig yesterday. That's Ailsa Craig just in the distance over here somewhere. Just get the screen back on. Where is it? Oh, it's too small. So it's the lump on the horizon over there somewhere. We can still see that. Great navigational mark. You can always see Ailsa Craig. And this is the Isle of Arran over there. That's the peninsula of Kintyre. And we are in the sound of... not the sound of music. We're in the sound of... Kilbrannan Sound is where we're currently sailing. Anyone from the Pacific Northwest would be recognising the sort of landscape that we've got. Lots of very deep lochs. It's very similar to Puget Sound in terms of the makeup. And anywhere in like Norway's, those sorts of areas, all have really deep lochs and mountains. So very similar and very beautiful. I hope that came out on film. It's not a particularly bright sunny day, so it may not have done, but we can see the bottom. It's very unusual here to be able to see the bottom in UK waters. It's normally murky or dirty, or it's like the bottom is muddy, so it's hard to see. But here at Carradale Bay, we are in 3 meters of water in what's a nice sandy beach, I'm sure, on a lovely summer's day, and we can see the bottom quite clearly. It's lovely sandy bottom with a bit of seaweed here and there, and I don't think I've ever seen the anchor before. When I've dropped the anchor, it just landed on the bottom and I could just see it as clearly as when it was on deck, which is an experience for us. I know the Caribbean sailors see it all the time and dive on the anchor and all of that stuff, but we don't do that in the UK. It's too cold to get in the water and snorkel on the anchor and stuff. We generally just trust that it's set, and it normally is set because it's normally goopy mud that it's in. So yeah, we're gonna just chill this afternoon, sit and read a book or something. We've decided not to move on. We've just had some lunch and it's so peaceful here that we thought we'll just sit about and be lazy for a change. So it's interesting though, there's a constant stream of yachts sailing up towards the lochs. Most of them from Ireland. We can see them on the AIS. And it's surprising how busy it is. There's probably averaging 1 a mile, and we've seen at least 10 in a row, probably including us. So yeah, much busier area than we thought for sailing, but very beautiful area, so you can see why everybody's coming. It's fantastic. So it's morning at Carradale Bay, where we anchored last night. Pretty peaceful night. I assume the tide changed or something, maybe about 2 or 3 in the morning, and we got a bit of very minor swell. It was very, very small, but the boat rocked enough that it woke us up. But then it went away again. Lovely night's sleep. And we've woken up to this incredible calm anchorage. Only a couple of other boats here. We were the only boat when we arrived, and then a few others turned up. But it's such a big anchorage, they were nowhere near us, which is lovely. For South Coast sailors in the UK, you never get anchorages that are that empty. So no worries about the other boats at all. Today we are sailing for Asgog Bay, which is further up at the top of the Isle of Arran, but on the mainland side. Also looks like a decent anchorage, decent bay. The wind is shifting around from westerlies yesterday to southeasterlies today. It's remaining fairly calm, so we're not overly worried about the wind. We're not even sure we're going to manage to sail today, but we'll see. We were worried about that yesterday, and actually we sailed all but 5 or 10 minutes of the journey. Mostly it was getting off of the pontoon yesterday morning and driving around in the anchorage to find somewhere to drop the anchor at the end. So we didn't even manage to charge the batteries yesterday. So we're down to 60 something % today, which is fine. It's lithium, it's good down to 20%. So we've got a couple more days before we have to recharge. We'll do enough motoring today to get some hot water in the tank, because we'll both need showers at the end of the journey. But yeah, we're looking forward to seeing this anchorage. Then the following day, tomorrow, we're probably going up to somewhere called Otter Ferry, or a little bit further up in Loch Fyne. A friend of mine lives up here. He says there's a car rally going along that road. So we can either go ashore to watch, or we can just anchor off of the coast, and we should see the cars going along. So that should be exciting. There's always something going on when you're boating, if you ask around and look around. So yeah, we're gonna head up there. The weather is looking to improve. It's supposed to be the first heat wave of the year this weekend in the UK. Headlines saying 30 degrees Celsius temperatures. That's down in the south, so the forecast for here is 21 degrees, which will be the warmest that we've seen for a while. But that's not hot weather, that's mildly warm weather, so we might take our jumpers off. But we'll take what we can get. It'd be nice to have a nice warm day. The sun is gradually coming out. It's supposed to clear off later today, so fingers crossed it'll be a lovely day. And we'll update you later as we get moving. So we're about to leave, and I'm trying a new camera angle. Not even sure if the mic will pick my voice up. So first we put some revs on. I put the revs on in reverse these days, because then if anything, like if it didn't go into neutral, then we're not going to run over our anchor chain, which is a good thing. 10 seconds of glow. Just quite tedious. You can probably get a really detailed view of our deteriorating teak deck right now. So check there's water's coming out. I've never mentioned this before, but I'm wearing my anchoring coat. I actually have a new version of this coat because they're really comfy. It's a Musto Snug, no affiliation. They're just really warm, nice jackets that are comfy. And this was my old one, and I was going to throw it away, but every time we anchor I have to come up here and deal with the anchor chain, and it gets muck all over the sleeves, so this one's got horrible staining. So I've kept it, and this is now my anchoring jacket, which feels a bit extravagant, but as a yachty you can never have too many jackets. So what I'm going to do now is just bring up the chain slightly. That will free this hook. So I made this up. It's only, I don't know, 3 meters long, and if I pull this through, you'll see I've spliced the loop on one end and I've spliced the chain hook on the other end. Oh, maybe 4 meters, because our cleats are fairly far back. It's pretty thin line, so this isn't designed to hold the boat. This is designed to hold the chain, and it's thin, so it stretches just a little bit. It's not a snubber, it's just a strop, and it takes the weight of the anchor chain so that the anchor chain doesn't make noise on the roller overnight, and it works really well. So we use that. If it was going to be a snubber, it would go all the way to the back of the boat, so that we'd have a lot of elasticity and it would stop the boat snatching. But snatching's never really been a problem for us. It's just noise when you're at anchor, especially in a peaceful anchorage like this. You just hear every squeak and creak. So little quick look to the back to make sure that Jude is there, and she is. I don't normally wait for her these days, but she's always there by the time I start getting stuff up. But to be honest, I can get the anchor up by myself, especially on a clear day like this. It's not a problem. Unusually I can see the bottom in many places. Right now I'm struggling to see the bottom because the sky is reflecting on the water, but the water is clear enough to see the bottom. So I'm just going to pull the anchor up, and then I lean down. I don't think that caught that very well because this thing, the mount swings forward when I lean down. And the technique here, I'll try and hold the camera, is I pull up about 1 meter, and then I sling it forward in the anchor locker just to clear the path. If I don't do that, then it builds up and causes problems. But the other reason to bring it up 1 meter at a time is it allows the boat to come forwards. Just through the boat's weight on the chain, which means less strain on the windlass. The windlass isn't pulling the boat forward, the weight of the chain is pulling the boat forwards. So it's a much kinder way to pull up the chain for the boat. And it also happens to mean that we can move the chain at the same time. Needless to say, I've got marks on the chain. So there's a red one that's about 5 meters away from the end, so I know when we're free from the bottom. And I initially marked the chain every 10 meters, and it has occurred to me, instead of doing that, you should mark the chain and the rope. We've got 30 meters of chain, 50 meters of rope. If you mark it in terms of the depth of water, that's obviously easier to use. So instead of the first mark at 10 meters, work out what's the shallowest depth you're going to anchor in, and let's say that's 2 meters, so you want, let's say, 3 times the depth of chain, so 2 meters of depth plus a meter to the bow, that's 3 meters, multiply by 3, that's 9 meters. So first mark could be at 9 meters, and then if you're in 3 meters of water, that would be 4 meters total, times 3 would be 12 meters, and so on and so forth. And then when you switch to rope, your marks would get further apart because generally you have more rode out when it's a mix. That's a fairly old-fashioned view, though. I'll probably go into that at some point, but these days it's acceptable to just have a short piece of chain and a long piece of rope, and that's absolutely fine. And a lot of that comes from modern anchor design, so you know that the anchor is going to set anyway, so the catenary of the chain doesn't really do an awful lot. With the huge caveat, you do have to have enough chain out in the first place. But I'm not a believer that you need to have 60 or 70 meters of chain out just because it's deep water. You would have that possibly, you know, if it was bad weather. So I'm just going to tilt the GoPro. Hopefully that will catch the anchor sitting on the bottom. We can see it just lifting up, and now the boat is free. Just going to do one last move of the chain, and then this sandy bottom, with any luck, we'll actually have a clean anchor for a change. And Jude is probably wondering what I'm up to, because I've been up here for way longer than I normally am. And I've been pausing and stuff, so she'll be worried that there's issues. But she knows I've got the camera, so we should be fine. You can see some very fine sand on the anchor. And then we just very gently bring it up until it's tight, and that's the anchor up. So that you can see a piece of rope on the end of the anchor. I usually tie that up for a passage, but I'm not going to today because we're going to anchor as our very next thing, and I'm pretty confident that it's not going to slip off in the conditions we've got today. But normally you would attach that to the boat. Some people put a pin through. Ours doesn't have anywhere we could put a pin through sensibly, so we don't. But effectively, if you were going along and the windlass gave out, all of your chain would deploy and you would suddenly be anchored while you were on passage, and that would be a bad thing. So you can see now, hopefully, the bottom, and we're not moving at all, we're just completely stationary. Yeah, hopefully this footage works. First time I've tried this neck mount thing, so we will see.
We are on the move again. Dave's already explained where we're off, but I thought I'd just come and give an update. We're currently have stopped, well, we're in neutral on the motor just to check if there is enough wind to sail, but the sea is making it, or the water, we're in a sound, is making it look like we are not going to be able to, but we'll see.
Currently 1.1 knots.
Yeah, 1.1 knots we're doing, and that's just with the main out, flapping. I think this might be tide. I don't think our sail is doing anything right now.
0.9 knots.
We're slowing down, that's why the sail is flapping. But yeah, I feel like my bucket is very full after last night. It was so good to be back on anchor in like a stunning place, and just surrounded by the green rolling hills was stunning. And obviously we had a bit of rain, but it was still quite nice. We actually sat up in a bit of the rain until it got too heavy, and all of that. But yeah, you'll see some of the footage. We had a gorgeous sunset, or we might just have pictures, I'm not sure.
And those following on Instagram will have seen those photos.
No. Oh, a while ago. Yes, yeah, anyone who's on the Instagram, they'll be on there, so yeah, go and check it out.
By the time they see this, That'll be 2 months in the future.
Okay, Dave.
Oh, massive jellyfish.
Oh, hold on.
Barrel bird.
It's got like blue legs. Not sure if you'd have been able to see that. I think you just about got the visibility as a barrel jellyfish. I was reading about them. They end up just washing up on beaches because they're not very clever. But I don't. Yeah, and they can get to like a dustbin lid size. So what's that? Like 30 inches diameter.
Yeah, about 2 feet.
2 feet. Yeah, 2 feet. So absolutely huge, and this one was quite big too. But yeah, anyway, I'm feeling quite happy and all of that because of our night at anchor, and hopefully that is a good reflection on what Scotland is going to bring for the rest of the season.
Tell me something I haven't heard before, 'cause I'm restless and I'm dying to know more. Show me something I haven't seen before, 'cause I'm tired of the same boats, the same shore. It's time, my friend, to leave this hell behind us. We got everything we need to make a change. I can't keep pretending I'm right where I wanna be. I'm hopelessly in need of better days. 'Cause I'm too young to face the end, but I'm old enough to start again. And I still got time. The world has tried to pin me down, but I'm running at the speed of light. And I still got time.
Join us next week as we sail further up into Loch Fyne in Scotland. We inadvertently go whale spotting as a whale breaches right next to the boat. We sail up to Otter Ferry to watch the Dunoon rally along the shoreline of the loch. We then relax in the stunning spa at Port of Adey Marina with views of the mountains and loch visible from the sauna and infinity pool. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.